gonna blow out the mic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Please Don't Kill Us! The only, as far as we know, actually play tabletop role-playing game show on the internet where you, the audience, gets to decide our fate, and we're announcing our 6th campaign. Horror on the Orient Express. This campaign's going to be a little different than the ones from before. We've played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, we've traveled a lot of mystical, magical places, and this time, we're going to be going somewhere a little closer to home. We'll be in 1924 Europe, planet Earth. Our intrepid band of investigators are going to be riding on the famed historic luxury train, the Orient Express, across Europe, deciphering a mystery that stretches back centuries, eons even, into the history of our very world. This game that we're going to be playing is Call of Cthulhu, a classic role-playing game, first from 1981, I think, back in the days of D&D, based on the Cthulhu mythos. This is a horror game. This is an investigation game. This is a mystery game. This is not your hack and slash fighting dragons. No. This is X-Files. This is going to libraries, deep into caverns, looking over ancient texts, finding clues, having red string on a corkboard, connecting different pieces of information until they find the answer, and possibly get caught up in a bigger conspiracy than they ever thought possible. I'm so excited for this. Call of Cthulhu, I think, is such a fun game. We've had such an amazing time both times playing it on this channel. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I think we've all been wrapping ourselves in 1920s, looking things up, reading about the time period, reading horror. I've been getting way too deep into the old horror novels and things, and I'm just so excited to see what these investigators have to share with us and their journeys, who they hook up with each other, who their enemies are that pop up along the way, and the different things as they travel along this railroad. And on that note, why don't we meet our investigators for this season?
My name is Macy, and for this campaign, I'm going to be playing... I took my Invisalign out and I lost my teeth! My name is Macy, and for this campaign, I'm going to be playing June Kleeman. June is a drifter. She was raised by her dad in Boston, but has been in Europe for the past year or so, jumping from city to city. Her dad was an industrial mechanic and taught her everything he knew, so she is also an industrial mechanic now. So she's able to find work as she moves around to different countries, and she's also able to find places to live because she has a dirty little habit of having a love affair with a woman and U-hauling and living with that woman until she decides it's time to get out of Dodge and leaves that person behind. She's not trying to be malicious with it, but she recognizes that it's a pattern and she's trying to break it. June has a cool, quiet, confident exterior. She has always been told that she draws people in, makes them feel warm and safe throughout her life. But on the inside, she's actually quite anxious. For the last year or so, she's been very unsure if she can trust her own judgment, and that has just led to overall more insecurity that she has felt in her life previously. So she's convinced that people are drawn into this worn exterior, really get to like her, and then when they get to know the real her interior, they find it unattractive or off-putting. I was just looking into 1920s culture at large, and then of course accidentally fell into a 1920 lesbian culture rabbit hole, and had so much fun reading about speakeasies and women that would be living together and registering to vote under the same address and basically telling their husbands, turn a blind eye, please. I found all that so fascinating and wanted to play with what a young woman in that time, like discovering all of that, would have been like. I also had a lot of fun reading about the Industrial Revolution and what was going on in Boston and Europe at the time, at the 1920s, and how that would affect her career, and in turn how that would affect her skills and what she can do when we get on the scary murder train. I'm really excited that this campaign is real world. I love high fantasy, but I also love that this campaign is going to push me outside of my comfort zone in that. I am not an actor, so role-playing a character that is not a moth, is not someone living in Eberron, but is a woman in the 1920s, I think will be a challenge in a good way and force me to really drop into this character in a way that I haven't before, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh golly, I'm so excited to be back on the big screen!
Hi, I'm Jack, and I'll be playing Faye Chefman. Everyone clap! You remember her, girlfriend of Clayton Lane, open relationship, giving Betty boop, bisexual, well, any pansexual, queer, anything goes, as long as Clayton's cool with it. I'm thrilled to be playing Faye. Faye was definitely someone that I created at the table. I kind of didn't really know what was going to happen when I first played her, and immediately fell in love with her. And I'm so thrilled about that. I also am really, really excited because Eric keeps telling us that this is a high fatality campaign, which is scary, especially when you love a character. But I think I'm ready for a little scariness. I really loved that about the last one shot. It was truly creepy, crawly, skin crawling. Faye is a diva. I feel like unlike anyone I've ever played, she is just so feminine and fun, and she is bright-eyed. She's so excited to learn about the world. She's not really good at any one thing, but she's interested in everything. And I think that's something that I would love to adopt in my life a little more, except also being good at them. I'm not good at anything. Also, the open relationship, I think definitely is really interesting to me. Especially in that time, 1920s, being able to, go to Clayton and have that relationship be the centerpiece, but then also being really excited about sort of a free love, flirty campaign where we can make connections in multitudes of ways, I think is really, really fun. And I loved that about the one shot, getting to flirt with Vetrova, Evelyn Sinclair, just being able to use flirting as a skill, I think is really fun. She's different.
Hi, I'm Isabel, and I am playing James Flynn, who is a gambler by trade, but is also a general rapscallion, bad boy, man of the world. James is also English. He's sort of been traveling around the world. He goes to all the major ports, has kind of friends, women in every city, really, that he needs to check in on from time to time, but he never stays too long, He's got a lot of pots on the stove, but he never goes in the kitchen. I have never played a man in a longer campaign also. I feel like it's a very kind of gender swap about campaign, which was really fun. I'm interested in playing someone who has a bit of an ego, has a bit of something to learn, something to gain from these travels. He's very much kind of Cary Grant, Laurence Olivier, 1930s kind of sly player, jack of all trades. And I'm really excited about kind of digging into that. And I think I am really excited about this campaign because I think it's gonna be sexy for sure. And I think it's going to be very kind of grounded and real in a way that I like. Like the actor in me is excited. Like playing Call of Cthulhu was so fun because it felt like you really get to like, it feels like you're gonna die at any moment. It feels like the stakes are really high and you're kind of in almost what feel more like real life situations. You can't solve anything by magic. You've just got to figure it out. And there's something like on a role-playing level that's really exciting about that to me. And having kind of like deeper relationships over a longer campaign that are able to like grow and change as we're all on this train together.
Hi, my name is Carson, and I am playing Clayton Lane. Clayton is a bisexual artist from Arnoldsburg, Michigan, that joined, when he went to college, he joined the Society for the Exploration of the Unexplained, became obsessed with the occult, and now often goes on missions to discover spooky things about the world, but also, meanwhile, he journals, he paints, and he has an alternate drag persona that he sometimes uses to get what he wants. When I was creating Clayton, it's interesting because it was my and Eric's first time ever playing Call of Cthulhu, and so it was really kind of a beautiful way in where I didn't feel like really any pressure to like do something so different than I've ever done or do something so crazy, or like I just was like very simply coming at the game. I think I'm obsessed with putting queerness in older time that we recognize. There's such power in creating these worlds that are fantasy worlds and new worlds, and having queerness in that I think feels so natural, but there's something so powerful to me about like having a queer character, somebody in drag in the 1930s feels really cool. It's been such an amazing process because I never imagined that this one character that I would play in the one shot would keep reappearing and suddenly be a part of a full campaign. I feel so connected to him because I feel like I've grown with him literally across many, many months now. I went on this first adventure to his hometown, and we discovered about his home and his family and his relatives and where he came from. Then we went on this crazy adventure that's spurred because of that, and you met his love. Now we're going on a whole new adventure with him, so I feel like I'm growing with him in real time, which is really cool. He has just gone on a cruise for Christmas with his love, Faye Chefman. And I think after that, I don't know if he's expecting some crazy stuff to happen. So I'm kind of, both of the times we've seen him before, he has been setting off on a journey really intentionally. And I'm not quite sure that that's how he'll be in that mindset going into this. And I'm excited to explore that and see what he's like in that.
Hi, my name is Jordan, and I'm playing Lady Vera Margarita Fistmuch Wankington, the Duchess of Coxworth. If there is a tippity top of the society in London, that's where Lady Vera sits. She's pretty much known as the empress of all of high society in London. You can't really go to a gala or a opera or a ballet without her having her own box and without her inviting you first. She also holds the biggest party in all of London, which is for society, which is the Jubilee Supreme, and it happens around Christmas time. And the best, brightest minds in London, as well as the highest in high society, also come. She has been married to her husband for now 40 years, the Duke of Coxworth. They have 6 kids together. It's the first time she is an empty nester. So her days have been spent just like stewing around her massive estate, looking at the gardens, tending to her library of incredible books, trying to meet up with friends, but really it's been dull. So I think she's looking for new adventures in her life, and that's kind of where we're picking up. Her kind of figuring out where her place is, and also kind of historically, society is dying in the 1920s. There's really no place for these high tea parties and this level of wealth. So she's also figuring out herself in the world and where she belongs. I'm really excited to play Lady Vera. It's also my first female character that I've ever played. in a major campaign, which has been very exciting, something I've wanted to do for a while, but that's not as important as I kind of am an outside-in person when it comes to playing D&D. So I have been spending a lot of time in London because my partner lives in London. I'm also a huge fan of everything kind of Regency period, but I'm also a really big fan of like Downton Abbeys and the major high society TV shows, and that's been very exciting for me to play in and something that I've been taking in for Lady Vera. Also want to hold myself accountable on this, that I will learn Turkish or some Turkish by the end of this campaign, because I know there's going to be a lot of Turkish influence in this campaign. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm a Downton Abbey completionist. 3 times. I've Downton Abbey completion 3 times. Yeah, all the movies.
And with that, what a cliffhanger, what a mystery to leave you on. What will these characters do? What will they investigate? You'll have to find out on Thursday, January 25th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube page for Please Don't Kill Us. Join us there for horror on the Orient Express!